So can you introduce yourself first?
Well, I'm Shui Kay Kahn, and I'm a lighting designer for 38 years.
So you're a bit of a legend in the lighting industry.
Well, some people say so, but I just sometimes feel like it too.
Can you tell us what you wanted to be when you were growing up?
I came from Hong Kong originally, so when I came here at 17 years old, I just want to finish my O-levels because it was hard to study there. But I went to Edinburgh, not the same school as Tony Blair, but next door to him. And then I passed all my O-levels, and then I decided to thinking of interior design or architecture, but finally I decided architecture. So my Scottish art teacher said I was accepted by 2 Scottish universities and 2 English ones. So my Scottish art teacher said, go to London.
It's a place to be.
Yeah, and then I look back.
Yeah, it's still the place to be, isn't it?
Yeah, fantastic.
So your background before that, were you interested in architecture or interested in art?
Yeah, I was interested because I was working for Norman Foster, Michael Hopkins Foster Associates, and for 6 months I was a student, and then afterward Nick Grimshaw and Terry Farrell. So I worked for 4 top UK architects at that time. It was high tech.
Yeah.
So I like that kind of high tech, industrial looking architecture. And then after I qualified as an architect, I have to work for 1 year just to finish it off. And I worked for a normal firm. And I was asked to light up, not lighting up, but it was sorting out ducting, air conditioning ducting of Bank of England in the basement.
Okay.
And I said, my God, this is architecture. I don't think I want to do it.
It put you off.
Yeah, so I went to Milan.
Yeah.
With Italian friends, they introduced me to Fiorucci. And now Fiorucci is coming back. It was a fantastic jeans company where they started by Ariel Fiorucci. And his shop is amazing. So I working with them as a 3-dimensional designer, window displayer.
Okay.
And I want to get into the Milan lighting industries at that time.
So I saw a little bit on your CV. You talked about garbage architecture.
Yeah.
I've never heard that phrase. So what is that?
In the last year, when I went back to the Polytechnic of Central London, now University of Westminster, I tried to do a project with garbage architecture. Because in the canteen, we were fed with everything tin carrots, tin potatoes, tin peas, the food is disgusting. But I went to the kitchen to have a look, and I saw them every day they throw away the catering cans. Yeah. So I talked to the chef, because at that time, Polytechnic, underneath the basement, there's a lot of workshop. I spent a lot of time there. So I went to work with my hands. The engineering department, the architecture department. So I went to the kitchen to collect catering cans every day. So there are about 20 cans. So I accumulated a lot of cans. So with a spot welder, I make structure. So I submitted, and of course finding a site to build a hut first with all the things. So I'm using Watney Bay crates, cardboard, and then the tin can walls being welded together, and I stuck it with polystyrene and concrete to make a wall, Norman Foster style. And then at the back garden of a allotment behind the women's prison of Holloway. So I built that one. I sent it the drawing and photograph to Domus magazine, and they published it.
Because that must have been kind of way ahead of its time, using.
I think so, because I wrote a letter to Downing Street, and they wrote me back. He said the Ministry of the Environment is happy that you're working on these things, but except them, the Polytechnic didn't like what I do. Wow. Said that work to be done PCL style. So it's a brick building before I get qualified, so I stayed another year. Okay. But I went to the AA because there was a professor called Martin Poley, and he has a garbage unit. And then when I joined them, I went to 2 schools at the same time. At that time, it was a winter discontent with Edward Heath and miners. So I cycle from Polytechnic to AA Bedford Square, and every day I pick up some camping gas can
Yeah.
Because on one side of Marylebone Lane is dark, one side is bright because the power cuts with the minus strike.
Yeah.
So I make furniture out of it. So the AA Martin liked what I'd done, so he decided to go to Florida to have a unit, garbage unit. So he invited me to go to America to talk about garbage for 1 week. I prepare my entry statement in the custom. It says, "Sir, what do you try to come to America for? A lot of rubbish." Oscar Wilde was.
Yeah.
But I spent a week there, fantastic. It was first time I was paid to go to Miami and then fly to Florida, Tallahassee University.
Okay.
That was my
Yeah.
fantastic time.
So how did you make the leap from that, jeans, 3D design, into lighting? What's the link?
So Milan, of course, is the mecca of design, of lighting, furniture. So I tried to get a job for Frost and Artilucci. But after I waited for 2 years in London, I didn't get the job. So I said I must start my own business.
Okay, and that's how.
So I tried to make a light,
Yeah.
called Kite Light, which is, I bought a spinnaker from Covent Garden, everything from Covent Garden, the kite shop. I make a light. And it's so funny, I had a young junior partner, his name is Mark Selden Vane.
Ah.
He became also a famous lighting designer.
Yeah, we've heard of him.
Hi, Mark.
Yeah.
So he borrowed some money from a building society, and in the basement of his father's house in Holland Park, I make the kite light with him. And I took it to Conrad shop.
Yeah.
Again, everybody liked it too. And it was displayed in Liberties, Harvey Nichols. It's selling like hotcakes.
Yeah.
And then in the 80s, Thorn Lighting gave me the little halogen bulb, MR16. This is our new invention. Do something with it. So I make some architectural lighting. And it was published by Vogue magazine, about 6 pages of it. Same year as Lady Diana and Charles' marriage, 1882. And of course, when you're in Vogue, you never look back.
Yeah. Well, I've never been in Vogue, so I can't say.
It was double spread. Calvin Klein has 8 spread paid advertising.
Yeah.
Lady Diana and Charles has 25 spreads.
I also saw the thing that made me smile was that you'd been on Blue Peter.
Okay,
So
so
tell
the
us
Teen Cancer
about-
project, I also send the information to Blue Peter. And because they try to educate the children. So I was in a film set with Percy Frower and John Notes.
Oh.
They can't pronounce my
Yeah.
name, so they would Shui Kay in front of the camera. And then I built a tin can house, again, Foster style, with ripped plastic and cardboard tubes as a beam, exposed out,
Yeah.
and then with cardboard tubes to suspend the tray for the plants. It was in Blue Peter Garden.
Yeah.
And it was fantastic. I feel so good.
Have you been on telly for anything else? Or
I
is
think
it
I
just-
was, again, Channel 4 document about my work
Oh,
at
was,
one point
was there?
in
I can see.
1986 about it.
Okay, well, that's quite a. We're going to try and find that.
Yeah, okay.
So, have you got a favourite project out of all the things you've worked on? Have you got a favourite?
Well, I mean,
project?
every day is a favorite project to me. It's just, you learn a lot.
So, what year did you set up SKK?
1979.
1979.
Yeah.
Wow, I was 8.
Okay.
And I feel I feel old. I
no,
feel
no.
old. So.
No, you're young.
So, well, how would you describe the work that you do now? What's your?
Well, I'm a bulb butler. I look for light bulbs for people who couldn't find it in shops now, because they are changing so much. And it's very sophisticated. Light bulbs, which is same look but different voltage, different ampage, different thing. So a lot of people came with light bulbs every day for me to match it for them.
Yeah.
Even LED light bulbs, there are many types.
Very
Some
confusing.
move,
Yeah,
some don't
yeah,
move.
yeah.
So it's for reading light. So basically, I just sometimes give them the bulb to try out before I sell to them.
Yeah.
And then fast track projects, troubleshooting, and then a lot of repair. So my recycling thing continues, because now with vintage movement, a lot of people, I prepare like 200 angle points, very classic one.
Yeah.
And it's very, very challenging, because now for the past 3 years, I learned so much how to make lights from the past by repairing them. In fact,
You've made me think of a light I've got in my house that I might.
okay. And I'm now expert. I repair grandfather chandeliers.
Yeah.
French chandelier is very taxing to repair because they build the electrical regulation is totally off the beat. Not the same as ours here.
Yeah.
I have to earth everything.
But when we came in, you were talking about sort of work you're doing now. You said you're quite interested.
Now, I mean, neon light was is ongoing at the moment for the past 10 years. You know, like emerging, maybe out of the vintage and the Soho strip club.
Yeah, yeah.
So of course this vintage thing carry on with neon sign, and then China produced a lot of LED neon. The availability, the technique become better and better. So I said, look, maybe I look at this as a new product, new components to do something. And then meanwhile, every day people want us to make neon sign for the names of the daughter, for the children's room, a message. But now the latest thing, I try to develop art, but also architectural lighting with neon solution. It's quite difficult because glass neon is very fragile, and in UK there are only 250 glass neon makers left. So
that's more than I thought there were. So I thought. I think
and of course they're very busy. And so LED neon is also getting very sophisticated.
What would you say your favourite light source is then?
Wow, fantastic. Just normal CLS bulb.
Yeah.
Because the past 2 years, I tend to go away from dedicated technology, retrofit. Because a lot of people coming here, since the electrical regulation, they cannot actually fix anything unless you ask for qualified electrician.
Yeah.
So they can change the bulb. So retrofit bulb is my favorite bulbs.
Because you can do
but also it's banning. So I try to juggle how I actually give my client bright light without the infringing the regulations of health and safety. But I also encourage them to use tungsten bulb, because actually tungsten.
It's very naughty.
This is Kentish Town, North London, which is basically a mixture of insane people, council fat people, upper class, organic, vegan, all kind of people coming. So the demand and supply. So the demand is mainly bulbs, light, which they can comfortable with.
That happens.
So I have to do the demand. In fact, 15 years ago, when I put in Soho my shop the filament bulb, after 5 years, the entire Soho with 80% filament bulb for the coffee shop, restaurant, gym, everywhere with filament bulbs. And then people just like this girl, the young girl who's doing fashion management from London School of Fashion just now, she's looking for a filament bulb. So I cannot change the customer requirements.
What they want. But, so you're sort of known for all these innovative and eccentric products. Have you got a favourite?
The Godzilla dinosaur is my first, because when I decided to open my shop, the reason why at that time Habitat is the strongest retailer for customers for designer light. So everybody say, go to Habitat, go to Habitat, go to Habitat. And then I won't mention name. Habitat has one person who decided what to buy. And after 3 years of working with them, I decided that the best way is for me to have my own shop. The customer will decide my future. So in a restaurant in Kentish Town, the restaurant called Petit Prince, I saw a dinosaur Rex with a bulb. I said, this is what I want to put in my shop. Because there was a film, 1964, Godzilla from Japan, Channel 4 showing every other week. And it's fantastic because it's motor making, no CGI, It was a brilliant classic films. And I got inspiration. So I put this, and after actually 1 year, one of my interns from Royal College has found a shop selling the T-Rex and the bulb and a lamp holder. So I quickly make this light and put it in the window and was sold immediately. And then it became my logo.
Is there any particular sort of future technology you're interested in? So do you go to light building and
two years
stuff?
ago I went to Hong Kong Lighting Fair. I met a Chinese company who said that they supply chemicals to LG to make OLED.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'd like to work with you. So they gave me £2,000 worth of OLED sample. After I tried to persuade them to, I'm a light, they do not know who the hell I am. And I make some battery power sample chandelier for them. And because I have fantastic experience with OLED at that time. And then meanwhile, of course, I also contact LG.
Yeah.
I said, look, I'm working on this now, can you help me? So they helped me a little bit. So I've been working on, I spent I paid £20,000 I think worth of research development on organic LED. So it's a very interesting light source, but it's still a very difficult, difficult to achieve. Although on the line you see many interesting LED or OLED solution, but it's very expensive. So maybe this is the drawback, but this is kind of future because the light is very stable and a nice color. Yeah. So I'm still working on it. Okay. But I think we need a deep pocket sponsor to do it, because otherwise we'll go bankrupt. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anybody in lighting today working in lighting that you find inspiring? You can say no.
Yeah, James Terrell.
James Terrell. Yeah.
He's inspiring.
Would you like to go to his crater?
I don't know. I saw his work in the Royal Academy 2-3 years ago. I mean, and I think that I was told that there is a project for him to light a swimming pool in Paris for a Russian lady. I want to see how this works. I mean, of course, it's a myth because there is actually DMX RGB thing. So in a big scale with a big team of people. Yeah. I think Inga Maurer has a lot of wit and fun things, but he's far too serious. Because when I did a robot light in Milan, he said, Shui Kay, what are you trying to prove? I said, look, I did a robot light, this is 20 years ago, on wire, like a train set. And now robot technology is so amazing now. So it's true, I was premeditating what is going to happen. Yeah. So there will be robot light you can call or come, and they will, instead of a boring, because robot now is used to help old people to be companions.
Well, yeah. Have you seen the shopping robots on the streets of London?
Yeah. So I imagine one robot you can order, say, come around and I want to read. Yeah. Then they will read. That is the future.